It's a great honor to be invited to speak at this summit, a hugely important event in the automotive calendar. I can't think of a better time to be here because Ford is 100 years old in the UK this year. Now, it's hard to believe, isn't it, that a century since we opened our first manufacturing plant here in Europe. And that was at Trafford Park in Manchester, a time when Dagenham and Bridgend were not even distant dreams. 100 years in the UK, and let me tell you, as the song goes, it don't seem a day too long. But I won't spend time just looking back today, not for just more than a few moments anyway. Because we meet in a momentous times with the world's economies facing huge challenges. Uncertainty about the fragile recovery from the worst recession since the 1930s, especially here in Europe, with the ongoing sovereign debt crisis faced by many countries and nations around the world urgently seeking economic growth. So the focus of what I want to talk to you about today is how we recover. That's why I want to discuss the vital contribution that we, in automotive manufacturing, can make to the economies of the UK and Europe. The growth we can offer, the skills we can foster, the jobs we can bring, and the difference that we can make. And crucially, the things we need from decision makers if we're to play our proper part in restoring stability and economic growth. Every year, we spend £3.5 billion with our supplier base in the UK and export some £2 billion worth of vehicles, engines and services to markets around the world. We directly employ 15,000 people, many in highly skilled roles, and altogether around 100,000 who work in our supplier base and dealerships. We've provided a contribution of investment, recruitment, employment, engineering, innovation, manufacturing and sales that is unmatched in its support of the UK economy. 100 years of manufacturing in Britain. 100 years of investment and employment in the country. 100 years of contribution to the British economy, its society and its skills base. Now, back in 2000, we announced that we were ending vehicle production in Dagenham after 70 years. And for some commentators, this was the death knell for Ford in Britain. We didn't see it that way. We knew we could maintain a globally competitive Ford presence in Britain, but only if we played to our strengths. So we focused on higher margin product manufacturing and engine production. Now, I mentioned those 3,500 engineers at Dunton Engineering Centre. Many of them are dedicated to developing the very latest low CO2 engine technologies. And Dagenham has become our global centre of excellence for diesel engine manufacturing, while Bridgend is one of our most important global petrol engine plants. Between them, Dagenham and Bridgend plants build around 2 million engines a year, enough to power almost 1/3 of the Ford vehicles sold globally each year. So today I'm proud to say that we've put the UK at the forefront of high-tech powertrain development with engines that are smaller, lighter, more fuel efficient and cleaner. And happily, British policymakers are once again beginning to see these facts. And I believe they increasingly understand the importance of strong manufacturing base. I detect a renewed sense of urgency to re-establish a stronger manufacturing base in this country. Otherwise, the UK will be left behind by those nations around the world that have committed to value manufacturing as an important and an essential part of economic well-being and growth. It was a mistake in the 1980s to believe that the West was entering a post-industrial age. And it was a mistake to believe this country could focus its economy on financial services. The important thing now is to learn from those mistakes. If we can get a policy framework in place in Britain and at the European level that encourages a strong and competitive industry, and if we get some parts of the industry to make some tough decisions to become more competitive, then I believe there is a real future for the volume auto industry in Britain and Europe. For let's remember that the auto industry is one of the world's great growth industries. By 2020, It's estimated the annual global vehicle market will be between 90 and 100 million vehicles. That's 100 million vehicles that have to be designed, engineered, and built somewhere in the world. Why not here in Britain and Europe as a whole? Globalization of the car industry is a great opportunity for the British and European industries, and for the competitors, of course, around the world. We have a lot to win, but we also have a lot to lose. That's why we need the support of government to approach this challenge with the tenacity of our competitors elsewhere in the world. So let me be clear, we are not looking for favours, for special treatment. We are asking for policies that give our great industries the opportunity to do what they do best. Given that support, the British and European vehicle industry has a viable future. We have the experience, the skills and the determination to succeed on this continent. We can match, and indeed I believe we can better, anything in the world. So let's make sure that we come out as winners. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for your time this morning.